Yeah.
So, 46 years ago. That's her. You see, she's 46.
Ah.
It's how I remember
That's
over
how
the
you
years.
remember?
Yeah, because
Very
actually
good.
we never celebrate for years. But I always remember she was a tiny baby when she was 3 weeks old when we opened the temple.
Wow.
So I have some photos because we had some friend came and they took pictures. And so 46 years before, it was really cold. Really cold.
This time of year.
Yeah, but it was a very, very cold year, more cold than now. There was snow, there was ice, and there was no eating.
Nothing's changed.
No, but there was no eating because you see, when we, that day, 46 years ago, was the day we opened the temple room. Before, this was not the temple room was there, and we just had a picture of the Panchatattva. And we arrived in June, and then in December we opened the temple, so they worked on this room for all that time.
I see.
They removed a nice wood floor.
And put the cold marble floor.
They put cold marble floor. And the cold marble floor, they had to take the heaters, you see, because we had centrality in that time.
Oh, wow.
So they had to take it out so they could put the marble and make the marble shine. So for 10 days, or even 2 weeks, I think, before the installation, there was no heating, and in that time, no electric heater.
No electric heater.
This was Maya. and everyone took cold shower, even the babies. I don't know how we did that, but anyway. Well, I was fortunate, I lived outside in one little room. I was one of the first ones to move in the dependence. So I had a wood stove. But I know my friend, but I was coming because at that time you were forced to go to Mangal Arctic, even with newborn babies. So I was coming, it was really cold. But
the chimney was not working.
no, we didn't use the chimney at that time. We start to use the chimney after, well, later on in 85 or 86 when they blow up the... They blew up the central heating because they put it on without putting the water circulation. When the temple commander was not there, the temple commander was my husband. He was gone shopping, and someone decided to open the heating, but they didn't make the water circulating, so it just blew up. It just blew up, and after for many years we had no central heating. Anyway, that's Mataji story. But when they were installed, they arrived, we said last year, they arrived before. They arrived, I don't know which date, but someone could find it was in Eclipse de Lune. The night they arrived, a few months before they were installed. And that night was eclipse. So I don't know what's the date, but everyone who was there, remember, we had a big kirtan and it was in the black of the night. And they were standing in what we call the back room, and then some people start to sew for the deity. Everything was done is gone away. I mean, this was built, that didn't exist, the altar part. It looks like the temple, but it's not. It's a devotee called Manibunda who made the woodwork. And there was an arch, and there was two doors. There was very nice wood door because we had just two altars. The altar marble came from Italy, and was just put. Also, the altar was put at the end. Everything, at the end, and 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 the electricity. We had nice chandelier, not those that disappeared because it's 46 years ago. There was no Sringasan, so there was one chandelier above each altar where were going to be Nitai and Krishna Balaram later. In the middle there was no altar. And there was one big chandelier put here, big one, and then small one. And my friend who came from Amsterdam to see us, they were not devotees. These people we met in Amsterdam before coming to France, and we invite them because we got a baby, so we had an excuse so they could see the deities. And they arrived in the middle of the night before, and they told us they were still putting the light on the walls. There was little chandeliers all around, and at midnight, the night before, they were still putting everything up. It was a marathon. Devotee came from all over. Like Jana Maharaj, 1 year he spoke, he came from England, and devotee came from Holland and Belgium and Italy. Yabogini last year, she told the story. Devotee came, she stayed back. I don't know if we had people in Spain there, I don't know at that time. But devotee came from all over in cold place, and men were taking their shower in the cave. No one goes there anymore. The cold shower there. In the basement, we use showers for years and years and years. It's just lately that now we fix the one upstairs, and the men are using it. Yeah. So, and there was a big kirtan. So what I remember is that, for the one who knows, it was Radhika Ramana made the first artik. And he was kind of Avaduta guy who always dhoti on the one way. I was looking at him, and he had this dhoti too. Anyway, and he did the big artik at the opening. It was Mataji, who was the head pujari, and I think she dressed them. I'm not sure of who dressed them, but she was the head pujari. She dressed, I don't know if she dressed both of them or just one. The outfit at that time were done from saris that the ladies had beaded. And it was very nice, it was a long work. And they went to England to get the material and the trims and everything. And after we had the program last year with the Zoom and everyone spoke, then one lady who actually helped, Kanta, was Manibunda's former wife, and she actually. I didn't find it, I wanted to read it. She sent it after that. She remember when they went shopping and getting everything in England to make the outfits, and the lady did the outfit here. And when they were installed, they were green and purple. I remember.
Wow, yeah. Green and purple, violet.
Yeah,
violet
green
color.
And purple, yeah, beaded. And they had a special set of jewelry. I wanted we put today, but it was not going with this outfit. That we still have. Very good quality one. And the devotee, like at that time, I mean, the president, vice president, Bhagavan, Vishesha, they worked day and night. They worked like crazy with everyone else. And Vishesha did, on those days, it's why I remember it was Bhaktisiddhanta, because I remember that Vishesha was doing the simultaneous artik. You do in the same time, the deities and the spiritual master on day like today, appearance, disappearance. And Vishesha Prabhu was doing the artik there. And I was like that way. And so when you do that, you finish before the one on the altar usually, and then you have to fan. And he was sleeping. He was sleeping, fanning. I've never seen that. Someone who does that, he can be sleeping at the same time. But he had not slept for days. And Janananda Maharaj, he say, remember, he arrived also, and he saw they were working, and they were, going everywhere.
Oh my
teaching
gosh.
festival.
You're getting things ready.
So Vishnu was doing the article. There was just actually the bottom part of the Vyasasan. That Vyasasan has been built in 3 times. So there was just the marble to put the cushion, the bottom part with the back, but no column and no dome. The column came after, the dome came after.
Yeah.
And then, the bottom.
Italy.
Italy did. There is a devotee, Prabhupada disciple, is called Matsya Avatar. And so he used to arrange all those things. He's a designer. No, he's a guru. He's a very nice, very talented devotee. And like that, if you have been to Radhadesh, they did the same, at the same place. They got all the Shringasan, are all in marble in Radhadesh. It's him who got them to it. And these come from Italy. And I think the chandelier were coming from Italy also. They were coming from Italy. And here was a big arena for initiation. I have a photo, but I couldn't find it. Aristanasana was initiated this day, he told me, because before it was like that in Janasthani, Radhasthani, or opening of temple. Whenever there was festival, there was initiation, because people were always getting initiated. But there was a big arena. I remember it's a big one, because our friend made a photo of my former husband sitting with Satya there. And the Nitai, they were installed over there, where there is Indulekha and that Mataji. There was a bath there. They built a bath, and I think because the fire sacrifice and the arena for initiation was here, so the bathing ceremony was there. Yeah. Well, I have a photo. It's there. I show after the one we want to see. We see 1 or 2 of the deities. I don't know. They are standing there.
Wow.
So, but there was a big kirtan, so everyone kept warm. I just remember it was cold at that time, but I don't actually remember we were cold in the temple, because you forget those things. And there was a lot of small kids, and when we moved here, we were a lot. We were maybe not 200 then, but at least 150 were a lot. Yeah, because what happened is at that time, for devotee were at that time, England was taken over by another GBC and was not comfortable with Greyasta, so a huge part of the English yatra moved here. Yeah,
Wow.
with children. So it was one reason also we had to find a place, because they arrived when we were in Paris. And then in Paris we were so many, and then came like 10 more family with kids, and there was just no place. So it was good when we moved here a lot. And also, not just families, some brahmachari from England. A lot of people who didn't like it there, they just moved here. So we were a lot here, we were a lot. And the temple was, there was devotee living everywhere. Now there is some devotee live in this temple and they have never visited upstairs, the attic. Some go hang their clothes, but then there is other little rooms there. And it was all, people were living everywhere. Kosh even told me he was living in one of the cupboards of the attic. So no one found him to go to Mangalati.
Oh my
Because there
gosh.
is huge cupboard up there where the press girl lived after. Because after we had the ladies living there and everyone living. But at the beginning, And there was no brahmachari ashram, the co-brahmachari, because there were so many and everyone was living in the castle. So they slept at night. They all find a heater, you know, and they slept in front of the heaters in the Prashadam room. Like that.
And then sleep there.
Because
No
there was
tables.
no brahmachari quarters. Yeah, for a long time actually there were. Vishwama used to say, New Mayapur is not a place for brahmachari.
Only for
Because
grihasthas.
there was so many ladies alone with children, and then so many children after because we had the Gurukula. So yeah, there was a lot of Matajis, a lot of children, and a lot of cows.
Oing, oing.
A lot of cows there also we had. But not then, not at the beginning there. The beginning we had 2 cows only. And one who didn't give milk. It was a donation of someone, but it was a milk cow. and actually she was mooing, and everyone was wondering what's wrong. And when Prabhupada came, he said, devotee were, you know, we didn't know anything, except like Vishwambara, he was from a farm. Prabhupada said, you have to bring her to a bull, it's why she's crying like that. And it was a nasty cow, a Gaura. She was all white, she just, comment on dit pousser? Yeah, push, but more than, you know, she really into the devotees when she escaped. And she was escaping often.
She was what?
Escaping.
Escaping.
She was not, you know,
Yeah.
some animals are like that. She was escaping, she always wanted to go here and there. If you were coming to Mangala, keep walking, then you have to be careful of the cows because she used to push you. She saw her in the air when she was a baby too. And she broke all her head. She was terrible cow.
Wow.
But anyway, Prabhupada saw her. She's a fortunate cow. Her name was Gaura.
Oh my gosh.
I think we had her because someone gave her to New Mayapur. At the beginning, some people gave some cows. And after it's a devotee called celui qui avait la ferme en Bretagne, Jayakul. There was a French devotee who joined in Australia, and he had gone to do the world and give up France, but then he was sent back here when he joined in Australia, and then he inherited a farm from his father. And so he was from farmer background, so he started to get some baby cows. He used to bring back, he was doing Sankirtan, was bringing back baby cows like that. So this year it's 46 years that they were installed, but it's also, I just remember this morning, because I'm a mother, and I think all the women who have kids, they must understand me. You always know dates, like, you know, this happened before this one was born, this happened after that one was born. So today is also, it's actually the date one of my daughter was born, and it's 35 years ago, so I was writing to her, and I said, actually, 46 years ago, we installed the Nitai this day. It was the 22, the solar day, and we were the 23, so. And 35 years ago, today, Radha Parisishwara arrived here at midnight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nitai, Satchisuta, and Shaganat, yeah, they arrived. And because they arrived the night that Radha, my daughter was 35 today.
Oh my
She's
gosh.
born. And they arrived in the middle of the night, yeah.
Oh.
And my husband, we were speaking this morning, and he said, yes, I had to wait until midnight, so I was waiting for the truck. And I said, what did you do? Did you bring, because me, I was at the hospital, so did you bring the Sringasan first, or did you do, because they brought the Sringasan from Paris. So 35 years ago, we had another temple installed in this room. We have 2 temples in the same building. Yeah, in this room, we put the domes. We had the old Sringasan from Paris, but we could not put 3 domes in front of the chimney. So they put 2, and then they put one of the altar in front. But so we opened this door, the big door here, and like that, we had 2 temple rooms, and I think we were doing the opening of the curtain a few minutes after, yeah, like that.
Wow.
And we are doing one class, but we were doing all the offering like that, so it was
Too much cooking.
16 samosa here, 16 samosa there. So that was 35 years, and that was also at the time that New Mayapur was a really precarious period, where very precarious, where actually we had no eating system also, we just had wood stove. But wood stove places in the temple somewhere. Yeah, so that was 35 years. They stayed for 9 months. Because they left, she was 9 months, so I remember. Yeah, they stayed 9 months here, but they came with their pujaris, you know. The only thing which was left of Paris temple were the deities and the pujaris, and I think they were like 7, something like that. So the deities came and 7 people came to take care of them. Yeah. And what is the bibliothèque was their pujari room, where is the chapel was where they put their deity outfit. And where is the boga in the little round room, there is a sink there, so they could use there to wash their paraphernalia. But it was another period in New Mayapur, where we just had to eat Mahaprasad.
only the Rajbhog.
And I was, but not just me, but anyway, some people say I was kind of fanatical at that time, because I was led to sharing, with my husband, and we kept the standard with all the offering, like it's still in the manor or in Bangladesh. But even at that time, when we were not many, we kept the 6 articles, 6 offering, dressing, undressing, and Krishna had samosa every day, like no more. And we had Mangala sweet, all of them, done every day, not once a week. But we were just 9 from New Mayapur, so actually it was putting a lot of pressure on the devotees. But on my husband especially, he was cooking all the offering. But when Paris came, then we share. They cook some of the offering and we cooked some of the other. But the one who cooked then cooked 32 samosa every day.
Oh my gosh, 32.
32 puris and like that. The one who
32 buckets of rice.
And we cook Rajboga on a wood stove. There was no gas there.
Wow.
My husband he built a big wood burner in a small kitchen. And we cook on wood. We heat up the water for the devotees to take shower on wood. We did everything on wood that we cut ourselves. We have no money to buy anymore. Because before they used to buy, but after. Anyway, that's New Mayapur story, so it's 2 days today. Radha Paisishwara arrival and Nitai arrival. But it was really nice when we got Gunita. It changes a lot of things to have deities. Because before we just had the Panchatattva, and it's actually not the same than having deities that you see every day, and then everyone becomes engaged in serving them. We had all the articles, everything. It was the same before the deities were installed. We had 6 articles a day, but to the Panchatattva on a small wood altar in the other room. It changed. I was not really, I was devotee for 3 years or 4 years, then 4 years continuing. I was not so conscious of things, but Mother Kripa, Indra Gopaswami former wife, she said that it changes a old windy ghostly castle into the spiritual world. She put it really nicely actually. And yeah, it was a change. It was a big change in the consciousness of the devotee that the deities were installed. And everything changed in the castle. Even like the men, they couldn't stay with their wife anymore. Everything had to be changed in the castle. But it changed because also we had the temple room, and then everyone came to this temple room every day, and there was all the puja going on all the time. We were not putting them in pyjamas at that time, but there was 6 articles and 6 offerings. Actually, we were doing a funny thing. Like devotees who have lived in India, like you live in India. So in India there is darshan between 7 o'clock and 8:30 artik. Between the 2 last artik, it's open darshan because people come to see Krishna. And they undress after the last artik. And in Krishna Balaram Mandir, they still do that in Mayapur also. So the one who undresses, it's really late at night. We used to finish, when I start undressing, we used to finish towards 10:30.
Wow.
Because you undress after the last artik, after the last offering. But then after we realized we were a farm and it was, no people were coming from darshan between 7 o'clock artik and 9 o'clock artik, so we undress in between.
Wow.
But for a long time we undress after we were young. But it was like that, I'm sure, also in America until it was changed more or less in the world, because in a lot of temples, people don't come, because actually guests are not supposed to see Krishna in pyjamas. It's the main reason, just devotee. So in India, just the people who go to Mangal Arati can see Krishna in night dress, because it's intimate. So there is no darshan of Krishna in night dress at night, normally. Just for the one who get up and go sleep. So I will let Gopaswami speak more.
Question.
Yeah.
I think there was night dressing of these here at one time.
All the time. I make so many nights. It's my question. Why not now?
It's her desire.
It's my desire. Yeah.
Not revealed.
It actually just stopped a few years ago. But very not long time ago they stopped. Because came one point where actually there was other spiritual problem here. Other wars and stuff, and very few devotees. And it was after I was at Pujari, it was when Sita was at Pujari, and it was just too much, so because to undress you have to be to put the night clothes.
You have to be quick.
Three. Yeah, we did it many times, just 2. But normally 3, then it's comfortable. And we used to have an offering after, and an artik after. We used to have all that. It changed not so long time ago. Not so long, maybe we say 10 years, because now it's almost 10 years I'm in Écueillé.
Less than 10 years.
Sometimes one person.
Yeah, sometimes one person. Yeah, my husband also used to undress all the deities. Yeah.
Wow. From that time.
Yeah, it was like that. I dressed 2 sets of deities until I was 7 months pregnant of Radha, because there was no one. He was there, he was doing the small deities. Gaura, when he come.
All small deity.
Yeah, also.
Radha Krishna, Vanataraj, that were Jewish like that, Nishigare,
Giraj.
Giriraj.
Wow.
And we used to bathe everyone every day, and we maintained that for a long, long time. It's just after, I don't remember those years, they say we could bathe through the Shila, so we just bathe the Shila, yeah. and we already had one. So, but before we base all the deities every morning, and the one who didn't have small one, like the Pujari of Krishna Balaram, were basing, doing the all basing things mentally.
Shila.
Yeah, no, not Shila, mentally.
Wow.
And actually, we still have the lota from that time because the paraphernalia we got from India, it was Sitala and Narottam who bought mostly everything. And we still have those lota we use for basing Krishna Balaram at that time and Gonitai. Well, we had, before we had Indradumna Swami Gonataraj, we had small Gonitai. You will see on the
smaller.
photo. But then after, when Indradumna Swami became president in 82, from 82 to 86, then they opened the temple in Spain, and then those small Gonitai were sent to Spain. Yeah, they are in Spain. And so after in 86, everything fell apart, and we kept Gonataraj, but they didn't come back, they kept them in Spain. Yeah, before everything fell apart, we were 7 pujari every morning for dressing. 7, yeah. Yeah, because the one who did the small Radha and Krishna, you base them and you dress them, and one did Gonataraj and one did the Nishringadev, which is in my house now, in Radhuna Swami Nishringadev, and one did the Giriraj. So, yeah, we were 7 every day. And suddenly we were 9 for the whole temple. So. But we kept a high standard for a long time. But after it was like crazy. It was like I was told I was torturing people, so we had to stop. We had to stop. And they said people were not coming because they were scared. There was too much service. So we reduce things. Yeah. But it is my desire that at least we could put them back in pyjamas. There are 20 sets of pyjamas. Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, they are.
And most of them not being used.
Yes. So maybe we can talk to all the Brahmins in the community. Right now. Decide. Who's ready?
Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Pujaris.
Weekly shifts and everyone can put their
Where's
name for one
Gaurangi?
slot.
Where's Gaurangi?
She's here.
She
Yeah.
said she's ready to talk.
That's what I was thinking. Why pajamas? not being used?
Actually, when we decided to not undress them, there was Yamuna was still there. She was not really involved so much in being pujari anymore, but she was living in Ekuri and she flipped out. She said, "Oh no, you cannot stop undressing them." And I said, "Well, there is no one, I mean, I was sick me at that time, so I was not coming to undress." And she said, "I know everyone has to go, but yeah, it didn't work out. Because now there is 2 people every night, so we just need 1 more, and they can be put in night beds."
Yeah.
And one cook for the puri and sabji.
Yeah, but first we put them in pyjamas, then we can cook for them. 6 o'clock would be nice. I think 6 o'clock, instead of having cake every day, they could have a
Cake and milk.
Korean sabji.
Yeah, something.
Puri sabji
But
pakoras.
they used to have that at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
There was a big offering at 6
The
o'clock.
wish for 2022.
And a small offering at 9 o'clock, and then here to sleep.
Right.
Because Krishna,
Krishna likes it.
if he wakes up at night and he's hungry, he needs some kir next to his bed.
Oh, that must be good. They didn't get here for a long time.
Yeah, we have to make a paper and pledge for people to undress, so we can at least start to re-increase.
And put pajamas.
You're saying there is a list of 100 devotees, all our communities, 100 devotees. So, like 40% can be Brahmanas.
Actually, it's a really nice service. I really like to. At that time we had no phone, no tablet, no ordinateur, nothing. So I mean, me, I used to do that every night. I just put my kids to sleep, and then I came and I undressed. It was not my service; it was my hobby.
Hobby.
Puja was my hobby.
Wow.
I was not puja, I was doing a kindergarten.
Wow.
And that was my service.
Put days to sleep.
But I was friend always with Pujari, and I came to help because then I put them to sleep with the tape of story of Krishna, and then I came and I undressed. Yeah, it's how I learned to dress, is by undressing. It's how we used to do before. You undress, then you learn how to dress. But no, I'm far to undress. I need a driver and everything. But I always say that if I move back here, I will undress because I will love them to wear their pajamas.
We want them everyday pajamas from Mangalati.
No, but it's more comfortable. I mean, you like to put I feel guilty sometimes that I put a night dress on and I'm thinking, oh, Krishna is still in his clothes, you know. It's not the same. Day dress, night dress.
Keep the day dress.
Yeah, it's when you put the night dress, they're more comfortable.
Yeah.
They're not a lot of work and like that.
Yeah.
They're more
Jewelry.
comfortable clothes. Yeah, no shoes. I could come once a week if my driver drives me. Once a week to undress, I will do. And if I move back, then I will undress. And, no, it's nice. Then you go to sleep, you have undressed. It's nice meditation. But we're very fortunate because those deities are very, 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 very beautiful.
Precious.
And for the one of you who know Narottam Ananda from Bombay after, but he was in France for a long time, and he was head Pujari in Paris when I joined. And he's the one who spoke with Prabhupada about the deities, with Bhagavan, to our world deities, and who got the paraphernalia. Narottam says in a temple usually you have like one nice Radharani or one nice Chaitanya, or one deity is nice. But he said, yeah, they're all beautiful. And even Prabhupada is the most beautiful if you look the Prabhupada deities in the world. Because those deities, I was explained, each time they mold them, they change the mix, and I've seen like in London is less shiny, and in some temple is more dark. But here is shiny and just a good color.
Wow.
We are the best deities in the world. We are very fortunate. And they are very deep and they are very near. We are fortunate because if you go to Vrindavan, the darshan is very far.
It's same in Mayapur.
Yeah, in Mayapur. But in Mayapur you can go on the big march.
I had the stage.
On the stage, and you can
Abhishek
see them
stage.
from one year. But in Vrindavan they're far. Here they are, next to us. So we are
Close
fortunate.
Gopaswami. You want a chair, Prabhu?
It's okay for me.
Je voulais m'inscrire pour habiller une fois par semaine.
I was thinking, well, I'm very fortunate because probably Vishesha, she did this speech like 46 times.
Rivo!
But I remember this time was the best one. I always recorded. Should be. Huh? Huh?
It's recorded.
Commitment recorded.
Yeah. Okay, is there any question? Not really?
Well,
Toi, tu étais en Sankirtan en fait, à l'installation de Nitai.
Oh, ben on est revenu. We can
Oui,
go.
oui, oui.
Yeah, I was in, this time I was Sankirtan. This reading books. Okay. I did that, yeah, I did that 4 years full time and 5 years mixed with translation. Yeah.
Moi j'ai bien une question.
Ah.
C'est bien les premières déités qui ont été posées à Nimayapo.
Oui.
Oui, oui.
Et qu'est-ce qu'il y avait avant?
Ah, mais t'étais pas là.
Mataji a expliqué, il y avait un cadre du Panchatattva qui était sur un
banc.
banc, côté. Donc t'étais pas là, on avait juste le banc.
C'était un très beau banc. C'était le banc de la chapelle. Parce que quand on est arrivé dans la chapelle, il y avait tous les bancs. Ils ont tous disparu maintenant. Et ça fait 46 ans.
I think the Panchatattva picture was the one, I think, was the one with those the first temple in Fontenay-aux-Roses. There's this painting of the Panchatattva, and now it is in Paris temple room in Sarcelles on the wall.
Yeah.
And then, it was here for the first, so it's nice painting, very nice. Yes. So any question? Another question? Yeah, I mean, Mataji just said it all, nice.
Yes.
Maybe you mentioned it before, I wasn't here in the beginning, but how did you decide for this room to be the temple room? And did you have to build something?
Yeah, we did this. They decide this room for the temple room because it's the biggest one. And they decide to put, I mean, I was not involved then, but it's because that door was existing going to the other room. So I figure out they decide because they could go, there was no other place.
And the wood here was built?
Yeah, that is not,
This is not from it.
this part,
Frame, wooden frame.
this little part here has been built by the devotees. Oh, this is not like real chain like the rest. The rest is chain brought by Dodan. Donkey on donkey back.
Well, I have a question on the structure here.
But that is just pretty, I mean,
I have a little question on the room here, the structure. I always wonder, there is
false.
the door right there. What is behind?
Everyone has, it's the stairs.
Huh?
It's the stairs.
Why is there a door?
C'est le quoi?
C'est les escaliers qui sont derrière. Je pense. Ah, so
The
my
fake door?
speculation, it's because there was one door here. So they put a fake one there.
Just to...
I don't know. You know, my husband and his boys, Panuga and like that, they search every treasure. So they, but
Knock, knock.
it's full. Behind.
oh, it was actually a staircase actually. And it's been converted into that.
Looking for secret. But you can see les charnières, elles sont en bois, c'est des fausses. Je pense que c'était juste esthétique, parce que c'était la salle de bal à l'origine ici.
C'est toujours.
Oui, c'est vrai, c'est toujours la salle de bal. Mais après, c'était la salle de billard, hein, avant qu'on arrive.
Okay, any other question? Yes?
In the basement, there was the original ground. It has been covered by
Yes.
some cement where there is this little room. You go next, you go downstairs, and left, then right, there is a room here. And here was as well.
Yeah.
It was already covered, or did you reveal it, or what?
Il y a un well dans la cave.
Oui.
A well?
Où?
Comme je viens de dire,
Yeah, when they...
dans l'escalier, à gauche,
Mais lequel?
l'entrée
Yeah.
de ce côté, à gauche, puis tout de suite à droite, il y a la petite chambre.
This locked room.
Et là, il y a un
right.
puits qui descend à
Yes.
Il doit le savoir, lui, hein, moi je sais pas.
It was, that was Atlantic, you know, the American one,
Yeah.
who covered all the basement with cement, you know, and it was a book.
But at some point, the brahmachari was staying in the cave. When I said there are no ashram, what point the ashram was the cave? They all went in Sankirtan.
But that's where they're keeping vegetables and the gardens. That's where the kitchen stuff's being kept.
Yes, a famous basement. It was not a shower, a cold shower. It was like a waterfall. From Himalaya.
Cold water in
And
the
all those
winter.
behind.
We didn't build it. It was there. It was from the commandant time, the shower downstairs.
To speak of the toilets, it was quite a scene.
The worst bath in winter.
Okay. Well, I'm presently working on trying to write the little story of Nitai, Mayapur, and French Yatra, and so all these remembrances, and so, you know, take advantage to receive your good thought about that, good wishes, so we can have some testimony of these pioneer beginning years, times, and for this wonderful story of New Mayapur, you know, the wonderful beginnings, wonderful middle, wonderful future, and the French Church was saying. So, yes, it's a custom to write it's a duty for him, you see, to write the history of the deities. So, no, please, you know, give me some good feelings, good blessing, I would say, for writing in the right way this history and convey the spirit that Srila Prabhupada wanted to give to this temples, yatra in France. Looks like it's, you know, a little special temple story. Okay. Any comments? I try to finish this story next year. It was very, I think you were very interesting class by His Holiness Swami this morning about the Srila Bhaktisiddhanta historical input. That was very, very nice. It's different class, you know. We speak about the chronology of his life, which is nice, but really very interesting. And I was noticing how Srila Bhaktisiddhanta he starting this Yukta Viragya, bridging the tradition, the Siddhanta and the tradition, which should be kept, you know, as the roots, bringing it to modern times, so that the tradition remains alive, not just a dead thing or just written on the stone. You know, so take it like that. Yeah, I noticed, which, you know, the beautiful song about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, we sung, you know, read by his disciples. I noticed that it was very nicely and expressing how he was surrounded by very beautiful souls and powerful, innocent creatures like that. But knowing now, afterward, it's easy to say, but afterward, knowing the development of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's vision through Srila Prabhupada and all over the world now, that was a little missing, you know. He was great and his surrounding disciples were, you know, great also, But now we have another step, the living tradition is pursuing still, and it will be always pursuing alive. That means there must be some transcendental adaptation to this tradition and Siddhanta. And of course, I think, how can we change anything? Since Srila Prabhupada gave us, standard and everything. But one thing Srila Prabhupada said is that you have to establish this varnashram. So that's a word, of course. But practically speaking, we can see today how we have to connect with the modern world, which is, not only devotees. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta made from 1 to 2 initiations. Now we have to connect to so-called, a third initiation for all the, I would say, like volunteers or varnashram sympathizing devotees who may not be made for living in a temple and following the standards like that. But what about, what about that? We have to learn how to connect with them. Now, most of the devotees are living outside. The temple standard devotees, they are living outside. That's they can be an example for that. But mainly for all people to connect in an official way. We have to learn how to pursue this living tradition, not remain, fixed and, unless you become true initiated devotees, you are, nothing or so like that, alive. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sisi Nitai. Also the point was interesting question by Ratinanda, but during Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, it was mainly Mahaprabhu on the altar, and with Srila Prabhupada we see more Gaura on the altar, and Srila Prabhupada. It said in Chaitanya Bhagavat that Srila Chaitanya, he preached, he wanted to spread Krishna consciousness, but he mainly preached to, disciples and intellectuals, like that, and of course he was doing Harinam. But he had Lord Nityananda to preach to all the food rascals, false logicians, and rich people, those who could not reach it. Huh?
Like Jagai Madai.
Yeah, Jagai Madai, exactly. So Srila Prabhupada also, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta established the Siddhanta, the Lord Chaitanya's movement all over India. But Srila Prabhupada, he had to adapt also to, so therefore, Lord Nityananda became also very important for this preaching now all over the world. And we have to find that. We have to find out how to reach out. Preaching is, make devotees. Reaching out is to connect everybody with Lord Chaitanya's movement, with Lord Nityananda. And they are very beautiful. When Srila Prabhupada was asked to install the next set of deities after Nitai, Radha and Krishna, he started to say first and for quite, strongly that, you have to be, that will be later, because you have to be very advanced to worship Radha and Krishna, and you worship Radha and Krishna through Chaitanya. Is, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna Nayanya. You worship Radha Krishna through Chaitanya, not directly like that. So Prabhupada stressed that, and then he said, we will restore Krishna Balaram. It's like Gaura also. Okay? So, yes. And then also, maybe you can say a word about new Mayapur, started to be new Bhavanavan. And when we bought the property, and I have the right price as they got it, exact price, I don't remember exactly, Okay, And yeah, it was named, Sri Prabhupada named it New Gaura. He was not there when we chose it. He received some pictures of the place. He received, we explaining what potential here, what was going on like that. And he gave his agreement, named it New Gaura. And nobody will know, will ever know exactly the precise time or reason when he became New Mayapur. There is some.
It's after the installation, because what I heard from the pujaris there is they send photos of the deities to Prabhupada after the installation, and then Prabhupada changed your name.
Yeah. I have another testimony from another devotee. He said that was when Prabhupada came back in '76, and first thing he said, he said, first thing Prabhupada said when he, came out of the car, he said, "This is New Mayapur." So everybody said, "What?" And everybody, huh? Yeah, that's what one remembers from everybody. And then everybody, come closer to Prabhupada and said, "Yes, this is New Mayapur." And the reason, your dates, and the reason, also, there is few reasons which is obviously fitting to this New Mayapur change. The beautiful deities, first installed when Sri Prabhupada saw the picture, that's one reason. Then the way they arrived here with the moon eclipse, like in arriving Bishop Chaitanya 500 years ago,
On the full moon.
That's pretty strong thing. Whatever, and like Nitai and Chaitanya and Nityananda here, having a very important role here. Anyway, this is now New Mayapur. Prabhupada, named it himself. I love New Mayapur and like that. Of course, it's sometimes often in temples. One set of deities is obviously the main, main one. In New Mayapur, each set of deities are the main ones. It's really actually a very full manifestation, full vision. You can have New Mayapur visions through Gaura, New Mayapur visions through Krishna and Gaura, and for different reasons also. And New Mayapur visions through Vishesha, Govinda Madhava. Yeah. And of course, New Mayapur is, as we know, the sole temple existing today since Prabhupada's time, where he came, he visited, he installed the deities, Krishna Balaram, a picture there bowing down in front of God Nitai. He gave authorization to install Radha Krishna, and he has the apartments and many class conversations, and that's what I am trying to combine now in a story. Any questions? Comments?
I think it was Sitala who told me, either Sitala or someone of that caliber, who told me that on the day when Nitai arrived at the airport, it was, as you said, it was a lunar eclipse. So the first plane came, and they didn't know exactly which plane will come. Somehow or other there was some delay in the plane. So the first plane came, and the kirtan, the devotees started doing roaring kirtan, and they didn't arrive, no one arrived. And then the next plane arrived, again kirtan, nothing happened. And the last plane arrived, the next one, the third one, and then the lunar eclipse had stopped. There was no more eclipse, and the moon was full, beautiful moon, and then they arrived. And the devotees were mesmerized because they saw it. It came just simultaneously with the reappearance of the full moon, and the moon that day was amazing. So that's the testimony I got from either Sitala or someone of that same
Yes,
who was there.
that's interesting. A nice point. That
Oh my gosh.
I got the report from Shincharu.
Yeah, it was during him driving.
Yeah, he was driving, he was English devotee in Colombia, I think. Anyway, so yeah, well, not just a little detail, it was not a different plane because they were already as a custom for some times in Paris. That's why, we did not get them. They arrived, and they were retained as a custom, and finally, the day the moon eclipse, they were released, Hare Krishna. So when they arrived, yeah, he said, when they arrived, he said, wow, it was like a beautiful setting, yes, it was very beautiful. We were on the threshold of the entrance, threshold, kirtan all day because we were supposed to arrive earlier tomorrow. So, it was very cold and that, and kirtan, and finally it was dark, night, and then lunar eclipse, wow, and yeah, they arrived at this time, and the moon was very like orange and spreading, it was like, it's not just, to make it nicer, because it's a fact. It was, the light was very orange, all the trees and the forest, and a very, very beautiful moon, And then, the Chaitanya arrived, and we opened the boxes on the threshold, and Krishna. So it's, it's a special story, yeah, it's a very special story. Nitai, they're really wanting to come here and be here for something. It's not a statue, it's not they are really Gaura Nitai here. And this is New Mayapur. And also he said, Mayapur is a place of, a great place of learning. That's also, another thing for New Mayapur. It has to be like that, chanting, dancing. I only remember from the installation some vague, remembrance clear. Just have an impression, remembering about the kirtan, the feast, as Paramahamsa explains,
Maha feast.
Devara.
And the kirtan, the feast, and the call. But Chaitanya Gaura Nitai there appeared, it was mixed of material, nothing, and the call means nothing, it is feeling, it's just materially really nothing, and spiritually very ecstasy. So maybe we should not expect, we never had really opulent, material opulences here, right? Apart from the kirtan, the prasad, and festivals.
Le prochain de dimanche. Il y a le reste de la semaine.
Yeah. But so
Rich
materially, it's like that. And Gaura themselves, they came, they did not care for, material opulence. So we are, their servants. But spiritually, everybody was, that was the Shambhala word, We had, most of us, we had one set, on Dori, we worship in the evening, you hang it on the thing at the stairs, first floor, and next morning, either someone, stole it, or it was a little dry and poof, go down, and you pick it up there, and
The clothes.
and you Shambhala said, Prabhu, you just have to dance your Mangalati to dry it.
That's in Kopi.
Okay. Yeah.
I saw some plans of the new temple that I want to establish further later on. You know where these plans are, or where it was supposed to be?
It was supposed to be where is the Gurukul? Where are the trees? No, not at the guest house, because the guest house is in the master plan. They were supposed to be 4 like the guest house. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Of the guest house.
No, it was supposed to be on the other side of the road. The road going to the forest was there. It was supposed to be in that field where there was no Gurukul then. It was supposed to be there because of the I don't know, it's Kishori farmer's husband. It's him who made those plans. Sorabi, yeah. It was because there was the plan for the under earth entrance like that, and the temple room was supposed to go down, but that was over there because I don't know, it's the highest point, something like that, of the ground here. So it's why they had shoes there. But we got the Gurukul after that, the prefabriqué after.
You changed the plan.
No, it's after we never.
Well, he came back,
They never.
later on, he came back, we should have another temple, a little further, a little where, maybe the Gaura house, in this field, there was, ideas of,
After, the last idea of a temple was when we got Shantipur, was on the other side, and
Sure
you
it is.
can believe it, but because we have seen it, they had cut the forest facing, like when you're in front of the castle, you look Shantipur, it's a full forest, but they cut the same wide part than the front. On the other side, they cut it low. It was supposed to build a temple on the other side, but now everything has grown back. There is no temple, and it doesn't look different. You don't see that they cut completely the forest at one point.
They wanted to establish, they wanted to purchase the land after,
No,
and
no,
put it
no.
on top of the hill.
Non, ça nous appartenait. En face, Shantipur, il y a une partie Shantipur qui est en face, c'est de la forêt.
On peut voir les arbres qui sont découpés un peu comme ça. La cime des arbres, là, 200 mètres.
Un petit peu, oui. Je ne dirais pas que ça a été coupé, rasé. Hein. Mais ça devait être de l'autre côté. De l'autre côté, en face du château, on voyait le temple. C'était un plan. Il y en a eu des plans. Hein. Ils ont dit derrière, ils ont dit là-bas.
Ils ont dit dans le cœur des dévots.
One little thing, and what is like, you spoke about the increasing the deity standard and evening outfit. And, that was nice. I was cooking. I was cook one time.
Oh my God.
La presse cuisinait la dernière offrande. La presse cuisinait la dernière offrande.
I was in the press and we were cooking the last offering.
Yeah, that was the schedule of the
I
press.
was listening, yes, of course, but practically speaking, the direction now before that, just before, or maybe before, is to bring back the cows. Yeah, that's the idea of the present management.
But they want to. Namacharya is going to get.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The present.
Focus.
Focus there. The present focus is to revive the, cow care. That's very, very auspicious, important, nice for the deities first.
For me first.
Huh?
For me first.
From you.
Yeah,
that's a very nice going back for increasing the standard of the deities. They can have their own cows.
I used to do the Mangala sweet with the.
How's the Mongol? I mean.
Rasgullas, gulabs.
But they were not
You
here.
know,
They were in
Mongol
good
sweets, you
They were in
can't,
good room.
You can't believe that, New air for Mongol sweets,
Rasgulla, gulabs, rasmalais.
Maintenant, c'était les Gurukul.
Now only burpees.
So, the standard will increase for Nitai and Krishna
Future.
the cows.
In the future.
And that will attract many other Brahmins who will be able to increase also the dressing,
Into pajamas.
the cows.
Okay, so I'm going to sell jewelry so you can make gifts to Nitai for their birthday. I'm going to sell it.
Yeah. Of course, Maharaj was there, Janana Maharaj was his installation. His sole remembrance is his blue feet, glued to the icy marble. Fanning with just before the installation. Yeah. There was, they took out the wood, spread some cement, and then put marble and polish it and everything. Everybody was working hard on that, and it was really just, that's why there was no radiator, no heating at all. Nothing.
And the marble was also coming from Italy.
Yeah. And it's all Mazzolata. Yeah, c'est Mazzolata, Italy. Nice. So fortunate to have new property, new castle, new property. Today, what could we do today? We could not, it's finished. We could not get deities. We have to speak about buying property. That's all. It's such a temple, and everything is set up at least, As Prabhupada said, please at least maintain. Please maintain this, the palace. And now, again, after 30 years of, heroic resistance, again, the roof is being repaired, it's like a miracle, and so many restorations are being done. Now the cows coming back, so it looks like a very interesting, auspicious time. Yes. Okay. Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Gaura Ki Jai. Prabhupada Ki Jai. Even though the Vishesha, they came to me, even they came to see their country property. Their parish farm.
Country house.
Prabhupada said it was a parish farm. Okay. Was fantastic.
The first deity ever to be installed after that?
Yes, before the middle was, yes.
They were carved by
Very regard. Very regard. It's a French deity. He's now in Holland. 10 years ago.
Where?
They arrived in Paris suburb, Fontenay-aux-Roses, and in a house there, the first temple. That was after the Chananda's apartment. That was this house they found. And there was installed Krishna with Lakshmi from Haradila's Sutosha.
Where are those meetings?
In Paris?
You're in Paris.
Yeah, that's the beginning of the Paris. That's it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, Lord Jagannath has been installed in Fontaine-Rose suburb, Nitai Chassis Sutta installed in Hermenonville suburb. The Jwala Parishishra has been installed in right in the center of Paris, in Arc de Triomphe.
Prabhupada installed all three deities. Did Prabhupada install all three sets of deities?
Here, in Srila Prabhupada personally installed Krishna first Radha Parishishra, and in 73 and 76 Krishna Bharata.
Prabhupada wasn't here for the installation of Golden Touch.
No. He gave his approval to the property, to the installation, and reached the property was bought in 74, 75, and then deities were installed at the end of 75. Prabhupada came in summer 75, and the deities were not installed. It just came for one day in summer 75. And he completed the deal with the president proprietor, who was still living there. Prabhupada was living in Krishna Prasada's room now. He stayed in this room. And then later on, during the winter, we installed on his behalf said next year we will install Krishna Balaram, so we came back in 76, installed Sri Krishna and Balaram, and he also allowed this Giriraj, this Gaura and Shiva. So one January, when French devotee, just at this time there was no Gaura and Shiva in the world in this house, so his devotee just picked him up, from Gaura, got him, and he was, on the altar, but we didn't have anything, just, stones and Buddha. And then one devotee, Buddhas came and he said, hey, we are clean, he is very high standard, and, you have to take it away, otherwise you will make offensive and you follow. And then when Prabhupada came, he was, made aware we have got the Shiva. And Prabhupada said, you can put him on the altar, but the authority at this time did not the authority, puja, like Pradyumna, when he jumped on his elbow. He told Bhagavan, all the rules you have to follow to worship properly Gaura and Shiva. So Bhagavan was afraid, so he put him away. And then later on, Giriraj reappeared on the altar. Once Giriraj jumped into the bowl of 3 tribes. Yeah, that was for Gaura and Shiva, very big. Celebration, Giriraj was a 2 tribes, and Giriraj was, was a curtain, and where Giriraj? And boom, he was. Yeah, I did not see that. I saw it all Radha Krishna doing that. Radha Kund. Yeah, there was a nice Radha Kund there, based, and was for Radhastami or Janmashtami, I don't know. And, all of a sudden, Radha Krishna were not there. And the time we realized, we looked, it was in the water, in the little fish, Sorry, not Radha Krishna. Krishna alone was there. Not broken, it was marvelous. Jet in Radha. Not this one, maybe that's new one since 5 years. Before we had the marble Krishna, black, and grass.
Where is he?
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's where I need to be there. Krishna's harm was long time we had no Nishikadev, so the other, Lakshmi Nishikadev is taken care of Nishikananda in Delhi. He was installed by Gopaswami here, and he was very prominent. Very nice Shingasan and everything. Let's see. Who has Nishikananda Das? Yeah, he's taking very nice care. When he was here, he was better. Yes, each deities are very nice story and nice, very special purpose, inspiration. I'm trying to find out, convey this story and feelings, inspiration in this book for the French culture. Bien, c'est
after Arti? Before? Before, okay. So before should be like 12. Yeah.